Hi, Pohoxy. Oh, alright. Poho then. Czech Republic. Great to see so many Europeans trading. You trade in the US markets, right? Or do you trade European markets too? Etc. What is that? I don't know what it is. Oh, okay. German stocks. Alright. Okay then. So right now I still have UXY from yesterday. I didn't sell any and I didn't trade anything else the rest of the day. So this is pretty much the only thing I have, except these apps which I've had for several months now. And yeah, I'm gonna use this yesterday's low as my stop and see where it can go. I don't see any reason why the indices can't continue down. Or at least, you know, retest the rising 200 day or undercut it or something. I don't know. We'll see. Let's look at my watch list. It's DRIP and DWT, some oil, triple oil ETFs that I'm watching for potential mean reversion trade. So I'll be looking at some kind of blow off and higher, lower highs or like opening range lows and things like that for a day trade or a short-term swing trade on the short side. And on the long side, this Melee I traded a couple of days ago, still holding the range. We'll see. I'm not really excited about the long side at all right now. I think we need more washout in the indices before I'll get interested. I think any rally from these levels is suspect because we're gonna run into overhead resistance. So, but I still like to track stocks that potentially look good. This Mallinckrodt is still holding up below this declining 20-day line that has been acting as resistance for pretty much the whole year. So I think once it breaks over here, this 260 area, I think this thing could easily, you know, go up 50, 100%. Why not? But again, just have to wait and see. I'll be watching this DRIP and DWT closely. I have e-signal open on another screen on another computer where I see the intraday charts, the 1 and 5 minute charts of these things. Again, I'm primarily looking for like opening range lows or some kind of a blow off top. Let's see what's gapping. And I'm using Interactive Brokers platform to see gappers. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Things that are gapping up on more than 100,000 share volume. China is gapping up. So now we only have a few minutes to open. One thing I'm also tracking is this F-Cell. They cancelled their ATM, so that means selling a lot of shares. That's why the chart is down 99% over the past 2 years. They've been diluting the shit out of this stock, but now they cancelled the ATM and I don't know. Also, these numbers, they're not correct. This thing is not 8 million market cap and, you know, 9.5 million float. The float is probably, I don't know, 100 million since they've been diluting. Potentially going to trade it on opening range lows. Highs, sorry. Yeah, so TC2000, not TC2000, Market Smith says this thing has 123 million shares in the float. So it's, yeah, kind of high floater, but very low price, so 40 million market cap. Maybe if huge volume comes in and I see a good setup, maybe I'll buy it, like a 3-cent stop or something. Because the last run it had a couple of weeks ago, this thing, you know, almost doubled in a few days. And a few months ago, this thing went from like 20 cents to $1 into, I think, 2 days or something. So this thing can definitely go if it wants to. I'll just have to jump in my game so I don't AFK and get logged out. Okay, back to trading. OBLN. Yeah, another beaten down name. Not for me, this thing, you know, it's ultra liquid. For those who are trading these, this is the time to get in. You gotta get in right out of the gate. I'm not gonna do it, but for those who do trade these things, I mean, this thing could go to like 253 easily today. But again, I don't trade these, just not for me. I'll put it on my watch list. So UXY is down a little bit on the day. But again, if the selling continues in the indices, this UXY is going to... You know what, I'm gonna short some Tesla on the opening range lows. They missed their estimates and the short is really weak, so... Damn it, I was a bit too early on the Tesla short. I shorted before the candle was confirmed and I got stopped out. I was a little bit too eager on that one, that's fine. I lost like 3,000 on it. It's a quick loss. But on the other hand, a quick small loss is the best loss. So I was a little bit trigger happy. This DWT just lost its opening range lows. I'll do a few and I'll add on a good setup. Oh, I can't find borrows, that sucks. It's not easy to borrow. Oh god damn it, I only found like 3,000 shares to borrow and now I missed my entry. I just assumed it was gonna be easy to borrow, god damn it. Okay, I missed my entry on this thing. I shorted some drip instead. I shorted 2,000 of drip. I haven't full fill yet. Put my stop 97.30. It's a very thin stock, can't really do any size at all. That was, I preferred that DWT, but I got no borrows on it, almost. Okay, so now I have full fill on drip 95.24, which is, oh shit, that's a shitty average, that's fine. Again, very small size. I'm not really excited, super excited. Yeah, it's probably gonna stop me out. Okay, fuel cell has volume. I bought 100,000 on this fuel cell. 3 cent risk, so $3,000 risk. I like the volume on it. You can just look at the hourly chart. Look at the volume. 6 minutes after open. Huge volume. I think all the chat rooms are pumping it. Or I don't know, I guess. So Octa is breaking, you know, it undercut its rising 200 day and now it's breaking a range to the upside. And this has been one of the biggest leaders over the past, you know, software leaders over the past couple of years, so. Oh, okay, FCell, it's probably gonna stop me out in a sec. If it breaks the highs of the day, I'm probably gonna buy another 100,000, considering how high the volume is, but I think I just got stopped out. Yep, just got stopped out. Alright, took a $3,000 loss, that's fine. Yeah, this thing is not strong. Oh damn, I missed my re-entry on Tesla. This is gonna be a longer term trade. Again, nothing crazy on the size wise, just again, this is my how I trade. I usually have lots and lots of small losses to get and a few very big wins. So I can, you know, I have no problem taking these small losses on these things because all I need is to catch 1 or 2 and I'll make it all back and much more. But I did some small Tesla. I did 2,000. I wanted to do 3,000, but I missed the entry. You know, I did it down here. Yeah, I'm in from $1 lower than what my entry should have been. So I'm not gonna do 3,000 shares. This is something I'm willing to hold for months because I don't think Tesla. I don't think they're gonna make it, especially if we go into a recession. I don't think Tesla will survive. They're losing way too much money. Like, I'm not anti Elon Musk or electrification or anything. It's just they're just losing too much money. I don't think they're gonna make it. And they missed their sales estimates today. That's why it's gapping down. So I don't know. Did I get stopped out of this? No, I didn't. It looks like it printed here, but I'm still in it. Actually, it printed 97.39, but I didn't get stopped out. Again, it's a tiny trade. You know, I'm risking, I don't know, $2.50 with slippage. But if it goes down, it's gonna go down 10, 15 bucks. You know, why can't it go back down to like 85 or 80? It's been straight up for 2 weeks. We'll see. This DWT is still strong. It actually took out the highs of the day. So there's a good chance this drip follows. But right now drip is a little bit weaker. ADXS, another thing that looks to have toxic financing, just been down, down, down for several years. Thin though, very thin. Oh, Tesla. I'll put this back on my short watch list since it took out the highs. OBLM. Yeah, wow, it's choppy, holy shit. Yeah, this is also why I don't like to trade these low-priced microcap names. They're so choppy. I don't know. You gotta be too fast. I'm not fast enough to trade those. I like to trade stocks like Tesla and like Micron or AMD or stuff like that. These large and mega cap names. They're just easier in my opinion. You don't have to be as fast. So I'm really slow. I'm really slow as a trader. And that's fine. I don't need to day trade. I've been there and it's just too hard. This NIO had a huge reversal yesterday. I was close to putting it on my watch list yesterday, but I passed on it. I didn't think it was gonna bounce yesterday. I was hoping for more downside. I was hoping for the mean reversion move to happen today, but it happened yesterday. Look at the move. Opening range highs, the thing went from 123 to 165. That's like what, 50%? 35% intraday, not bad. Ultra liquid, you can do like 100,000 shares of this thing. You can do 500,000 shares of this thing with a market order without even moving the price. Now let's see, some alerts are triggering. Malincrot is triggering again. Oh, Tesla, wow. Just keeps going lower. I may add a little bit more, maybe 500 shares or something. Because again, this is probably gonna be a multi-month trade for me. I'm not gonna cover it just because it's going down. Oh man, I'm so happy it didn't stop me out because it actually printed 97.39 and my hard stop was 97.30, but it didn't trigger. So it must have been like 10 shares or something that printed up there. And now it's going lower. Oh yeah, now it's taking out opening range lows. But I'm not gonna cover it. I have very small size, so I need a big move to make money. I'm not gonna cover until like 89 or 90 or something. That's when I start covering it. And this is not a longer term trade. This is a shorter term swing trade, like 3 to 5 days or something. So it's not gonna be a long hold. In your first years when you were day trading, did you also trade flags or another strategy? Well, intraday flags. Like the same patterns you see on the daily chart, you can trade them off the intraday chart too. Like I did trade like intraday flags. If you say you had a stock that was gapping up on earnings or something, and then it kind of went sideways most of the day, and then like in the last couple of hours, it set in a tight range, like a flag, and then it started like going up late day. Like those kinds of patterns I traded all the time. Very common during earnings season. You get a few good ones almost every single day. You just wait for something that's up on volume, on big volume, and then you just wait for a setup. And those setups, usually you get those, well, you can trade them first like 5-10 minutes too if you're fast, or you wait a few hours for the flag to start forming. It's all about getting tight setups. Get a tight stop so you can get potential good risk reward trades. And I also shorted a lot. I shorted a lot more than I do now. Wow, fuel cell is so weak. I don't know, they had an SEC filing that said they stopped the ATM, but I don't know, this looks like they're selling into this gap. I don't know. I'm not an expert on these SEC filing thing is. I just saw someone on Twitter post it. OBLM, they're definitely selling into this one. Gap is almost gone. You know what, I'm thinking about doing some yin, China ETF. Oh, opening range highs is almost breaking. I'm gonna buy a few. Let's see, what's the average volume? Average volume is like, I'll buy 15,000 shares. I'll have like a 15-cent stop with slippage. Let me buy right here, since it's a very, very small risk on this trade. So I don't even really care if it stops me out without officially triggering. I'll put my 1680 is gonna be my stop. And you have to remember, guys, these trades right now, I'm not doing, they're kind of thin, all of them. I don't have big size in any of these things. Except UVXY, which is about a 15% position. But and Tesla, which is a little bit over 10%. But this drip and, you know, all the yin, they're very small trades, very small positions. Okay, now there's a lot of alerts triggering here. Malincrot, ENDP. Okay, so these opioid names are, I don't know, it looked 255. I'll buy some. You know what, I'll buy some. It's not going, Malincrot is not going away. It's just not going away. I just bought 50,000. Where's, what was yesterday's close? 243. 243. Yeah, so 243 is gonna be my stop. So I bought some, and I'm willing to buy another 50,000 if you get some volume. This is just starter size. I want confirmation. And these things, they just, you know, these small cap names. They don't care about the market. When they go, they go. Oh my god, Tesla, god damn. Now I'm getting a little bit pissed off I missed the opening range. It would have been nice to have another 1,000 shares of this thing. Oh. And what's worse, I shorted 2,000 shares right out of the gate before it confirmed the first minute candle. So I got stopped out here, so I took a $3,000 loss. And now I got back in lower with less than full size. Oh, a little bit annoying. Little bit annoying. What's Tiva doing? Yeah, Tiva is weaker than ENDP and Malincrot. I'm gonna lower my stop to 97.20 on this strip. What's this DWT doing? Yeah, it's still strong. It's still strong. Yeah, so far I'm not excited about this Malincrot volume. I'm thinking about moving my stop to 244. Tightening it up. So either it goes or it doesn't. And I think it could be a very explosive setup. Like a month ago, I had a, you know, it went up 150% in a few days. And it should just go. It shouldn't like really go lower if it wants to go. So that's why I'm tightening up the stop a little bit. Let's look at the scans. Oh, EMPH, this one I got stopped out of yesterday, out of the gate, and then it put in a reversal candle, and now it looks like it wants to go higher potentially. It's a trade I had for 2 quarters that I got stopped out of yesterday. Okay. Looks like things are starting to bounce, like indices. Look like they want to bounce. We'll see. That's not great for my UVXY. Not good at all. And now, most of the things that are going to happen today have already happened, pretty much, I think. I don't think there's gonna be a lot more action today. I may add to this Malincrot if it stays strong and gets more volume during the day. But other than that, I don't think I'm gonna do much more. This DWT, maybe I'll short it. It's kind of weird that this DWT is so strong and this drip is so weak. But yeah, I need a bigger move on this drip. I need another $5 before I'll start covering. There's no point in starting to cover now. It has such small size, only 2,000 shares. Because it's so thin. It's very thin with very wide spreads. So like 50-cent spreads on this thing. So if you short on a bid, you're instantly down $1,000 if you do 2,000 shares. So this is some newsletter pumping. These alert services are so stupid. Like someone with a big following alerts some illiquid, low float, low price stock, and then you have like 100 people buying it. Just crazy. I was in a few alert services during my first year of trading, and yeah, it was kind of stupid. I'm not proud of it. I was one of the idiots that bought stocks like this. Where is it? Stocks like this, like up here. I used to be there too, long time ago. So if you have any questions, things are starting to slow down. If you have any questions, just ask. I'll try to answer them. I'll probably stream for another 30 minutes or so, and then I go into my usual routine. Every full hour I look at spend 5-10 minutes to look through my positions, go through my scans, go through my watch lists, and go through Twitter to see what people are talking about. So that's what I do. Like I spend like 5-10 minutes per hour looking at trading. Rest of the time I'm doing other things like household chores, or I go for a walk, or I go eat food, or I play World of Warcraft. I just have to. Oh, I almost got logged out. I have to get back in so I don't get logged out, because there's a big queues on my server. Sometimes you have to wait for several hours to get in. So okay, now back to trading. Okay, so Octa is reversing. Drip. Oh, I'm gonna get stopped out. Holy shit! Look at this candle. Must have been some news, some oil news, right? Ooh, so like I want to follow an account that is fast with the macro news, but who doesn't tweet very much. Like there's a lot of great accounts there, but a lot of them tweet a lot of irrelevant stuff I don't care about, like sports and shit. So I'm followed a lot of people that do post quality stuff, but they should probably post like 20% of what I do post. Oh, nice. That's great for my UVXY. Not great for Mallinckrodt. Not okay. My yin I got stopped out. That was a tiny position. That's also great for my Tesla position. Yep. And UVXY. So it's great for two of my biggest positions. Okay, Drip I got stopped out too. These were all, so the ones I got stopped out of, they're tiny positions, and my two biggest ones are working well. So that's great. Let's see here. Yeah, so I had almost 50 cent slippage on Drip stop. Man, I hate these thin stocks and thin ETFs. Almost 50 cent slippage on the stop. I'm gonna sell some UX. I'm gonna lock in. So I'm up 43,000 on it, 44,000 on it. I'm gonna sell some. You know what? I mean from like 2907, 2906. So I'm up like almost 10%. Yeah, I'll sell just small. Okay, so I sell the 1,000 out of 20,000 shares, just locking in some. So this is what I'm talking about. Small tight stops to get multiples on that. So my average is 2906 and my stop is 2891. So that's like 15 cent stop, $1.50 on it pretty much. So I'm up already. I'm up 10 times my initial risk on this UVXY, and this is what trading is all about. Get multiples on your risk, and this is not even a big move. This thing could go to 35 very easily. Okay, so I'm gonna put a new trend line stop on this thing, but I'm probably gonna get stopped out of this if the markets go down lower, because it does seem to be a little bit correlated to the market. And now TC2000 is slow again. I love it. It's almost always the first like half hour, 45 minutes, and that's what when I need it most. So it's a little bit. So oil and silver are going up to. Oh. Yeah, not much on my scans, which is expected since the markets are down. Okay, Mail is breaking down from the pattern. Gold and silver are strong. Drip. Okay, well, it's a good thing I got stopped out, because now we're going to get an even better setup. An ideal setup is if it goes up a lot today, stay strong, and then tomorrow we get a gap up and get something like this, a move like this, when it goes down like 10-15% in a day. And same thing with DWT. But if we get a setup, I'm gonna re-short them during the day, if I can find a good tight setup. But I'm definitely not gonna short into a move like this, because you know this thing could go to $7. There's no way I'm shorting into strength. I want to see some kind of lower highs or range break to the downside if I'm gonna short it today, or short these both. Nugget, yeah, Nugget is strong. I want to see gold. Okay, yeah. So Nugget is definitely lagging the gold itself. Yeah, MNK about to get stopped out. So I took 2 losses today, or 2 tiny losses, because I didn't wait for confirmation. Like this drip, I bought it. Oh no, sorry, this yin, I bought it a few cents before. I anticipated the opening range break, but it actually never broke. It stayed right at the level, and the same thing with Tesla. The first trade I had on Tesla. And now things are going higher. Yeah, look at this market. Tesla is going higher. But the these indices are... No, okay, we had a little bit of spike. Never mind, the spike was smaller than I thought. It looked bigger when I looked at the 1 minute chart on Tesla. Never mind. 245. Yeah, and I got stopped out. Boom. That was fast. That's fine, I was in half size. And I had a tight stop. But it kind of looks like it's coiling here. You see, it's like a little bit of a rounded bottom here. I think if it can go sideways a few more days, put in more higher lows, this thing could really go. It's been testing 3-4 times now, past month. That's okay. Well, not that great of a start to the day for new position. I took losses in FCell, Drip, Yin, Mallinckrodt, and also in Tesla. But now Tesla is working, so that's good. And UVXY is working from yesterday. So my the two by far the biggest positions are working, and the other ones were all tiny. So at least that's good. But yeah, I think the main thing I'm gonna do for the rest of the day, I'm not gonna stream the rest of the day though, is look for a setup in DWT and Drip. Because look at this oil, it's down. Yeah, I don't know. What's Overstock doing? Oh, these rate ETFs are still going higher. These triple treasury ETFs. Look at this breakout here. Look at this. This is a 5-star breakout. You have a big move, very linear, very nice, clean move. And then it just rides this moving average and you have a breakout on volume. This is like a 5-star setup. Same thing with TLT. This TLT is much more liquid, higher priced and more volume. Another great breakout. I'm gonna show you 5-star. Look at this. This one I actually traded. And then it went up like 40% in a few weeks. Those are my favorite patterns, like these high tide flags, but you don't get them that often. That's the tricky part. Yeah, thank you, Poho. Yeah, my goal is to stream every day for the first hour and a half. Because I'm sitting in front of the computer anyways, I'm not really doing anything. The only thing I'm doing differently is I'm talking while I trade. So it doesn't really take a lot of extra energy or time to do this. When I used to do my YouTube videos, that took a lot of extra time and energy because it usually took me like 30 minutes or something to record them, and then took another 30 minutes to upload and stuff like that. So it usually took like an hour. But now I just click 2 buttons, start streaming, and then I click 1 button to stop the stream, and then I click then another 2 clicks, and it uploads automatically to YouTube. Only thing I have to do is name a title. By the way, I think I can put a title on the stream too, right? Or is it too late? Can I put a title on the stream? Funny, I can report myself. I'm gonna report myself. That's kind of weird you can do that. Okay, here you can put a title. UVXY long, Tesla short. Let's get the momentum going. Live notification. Okay, Okay, so now put a title on the stream. I think I did. Can you see if there's a title on the stream? If it's like, I named it UVXY long, Tesla short, let's get the momentum going. It's there? Okay, great, because I can't see it. I'm just learning Twitch. I really haven't put a lot of time to look at all the things you can do here, because there's a lot of things you can add to the stream. And I don't understand 90% of that. Oh, show your Twitter feed on your channel. Oh, I'm gonna activate that. That's great. So if I tweet something, can you see my tweets on Twitch now? It should be under the video. I can see it. Can you guys see it? My tweets below the video stream. Yeah, it's on Twitter, but it should be on Twitch too. If you scroll down, it should be there. Or if you like refresh the window or something. All right, let's see. Back to trading. Okay, this should be not being here. Okay, so Tesla. Okay, now my main positions are going the wrong way again. Okay. I got more questions on day trading. You said that for a new trader, it's better to be day trading to get more trades and equals more experience. But you also said that to be profitable, you have the bigger win rate. On the other hand, in swing rates, it seems like paradox to be that winning as new trader. Well, I don't really understand the paradox part. Well, the thing is, it's hard to get big risk-reward trades on an intraday frame. Like, it's hard to get a trade where you make 20 times your initial risk on a day trade. While if you swing a position trade, that happens all the time, like all the time. Like some of my trades, like Roku, some of my biggest winners this year, like they were all, like when I bought it opening range highs a few months ago, I had like a $2 risk or something, and it went up $100. I mean, I literally at one point was up 50 times my initial risk. You're not gonna have that with a day trade. Like let's say you would have done that trade as a day trade, you would have still done well. It went up about 12 bucks or so, so you would have still made like 6 times your risk. So that's what I meant, that you need to have a higher win rate. So you need to lock in profits. You need to lock in profits faster. Like I usually don't lock in my profits when I get a 1 or 2 or 3 time my initial risk. But if you get a trade where you're up 2 or 3 times your initial risk on a day trade, you almost have to lock in some, at least a third or half, and then raise your stop. But a lot of on my swing trades, I may be up say 3 times my initial risk, and then it reverses and stops me out for a full stop. While let's say if you're a day trader, let's say you lock in half when you're up 3 times your initial risk, and then you put your stop to break even, so it stops you out for the other half for break even, and you will still be having a profitable trade where I had a losing trade. So you have to lock in faster. That's how you get higher win rate. Did you have? Yeah, I had a bigger win rate as a day trader, definitely. Because of this reason, because I locked in partials faster and I was more aggressive in moving stops. What is going on here? Okay, so now the market is reversing higher, and I also used I used to trade differently. Like I used to short a lot intraday, like probably 50% of my trades were on the short side. Nowadays, maybe 10% of my trades are on the short side. Because in swing and position trading, it's much easier to buy stuff. Much easier. Because momentum on the long side works differently than on the short side. And also mathematically, like I have stocks that go up 50, 100% all the time. But you can't have a stock going down. I mean, it's hard to short a stock. You rarely get trades that go down 50%, like very rarely. Happens very rarely. While things go up 50%, like all the time. So it's also due to mathematics, it's much easier to swing and position trade on the long side. Roku is another one of the big leaders, fast growing stock. Found a little bit of support here. you know, having a little bit of around the bottom and the range. So these are signs I look for. You know, these leaders that have pulled back a lot lately, past few months, and now they're bottoming. And they're way stronger than the overall market. Like, look at the Nasdaq, look at the SPYs. They have kind of like broken down from this range, but stuff like Roku, it's holding it up inside of this range. Same thing with Shopify, they're holding up. So this Melee is a little bit weaker, it's trying to break down, but you want to see these leaders starting to show resilience against the overall market. Because what happens is when the market stops going down or starts going up, these stocks will go up even more. So these are all signs to look for. Now there's no guarantee, like if this market keeps going down, these things will break down eventually. But you gotta look for these signs and just wait. Waiting is such a big part of this game. It's like 95% of trading is waiting, looking for clues and looking for those great opportunities. And again, I'm a chronic overtrader, so I take like subpar opportunities every day, but I do them on smaller size, because I realized long ago that I just need to make, sometimes I just need to make trades because I like trading, and also it's not great to trade just for the sake of trading. It's because most of the time I lose money when I trade for the sake of trading, so that's why I do it the smaller size. So I'm pretty much paying a little bit of a tax just to get that satisfaction, because I realized long ago that it's okay to lose a little bit of money just to still the urge of trading. So it's fine. And it also keeps me sharp for the big opportunities, because if you haven't made a trade for say a week, you know, that's not a great thing. It's better to have made some tiny but losing trades, so you're still sharp. You're not hesitating when a big one triggers. You're not hesitating, if you understand what I mean. Have you ever traded options? Yes, I have traded options. I don't understand them. I've tried. I even bought some books, but they're boring as fuck. I don't care. Like, look, I made like, you know, millions not understanding options, not trading options. I have no problem not trading options. It's just another way of making things complex, and complexity kills returns. I just try to keep it as simple as possible. When shorting as a day trader, did you use also flags, inverse flags? Yes, that works, absolutely. When you have stops gapping down on, say, earnings or whatever, the same thing applies. You can look for like bear flags intraday, and then like mid-late day breakdowns. That's something I did. Or like opening range lows, and then you short near the open on the opening range lows. Those things work, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just gonna go through some of my watch lists, see what's up. Nothing is up, pretty much. Or here, there are a few things. Okay, Okta. I'll put Okta back here. SC, Q. Like a lot of these things, they have like undercut or stopped at the rising and moving averages, and now they're kind of trying to turn up again. So a lot of these growth names, they're down like 20, 30%, 40% over the past 2 months, and they are trying to find some support. This IPHI is really strong. If you can tighten up here, look at how well it's been holding up during the past few months, when a lot of these growth names have been correcting a lot. Look at this GH, what a big correction. So this DBS has been pumped as a short squeeze for a few months now by Mox reports on Twitter. There's like a really high short interest, and the company has been buying back its own stocks. So the thesis is that the tradable float is really small, so it's really easy to push it up. I don't know. I was long it here, and I got stopped out when it pulled back, and now it's going up higher again. It's a very thin stock. You can't buy a lot of shares anyways, but I may get back in. It sets up well. Heck, why can't this thing double if the pump gets going? And now TC2000 is lagging again. Do you watch any internals like market, breadth, ADD? I don't know what ADD is. I do watch some things when I get TC2000 working again. Let's see here. I look like T2104 and this is like, or T2108. Which one is the ones that I... Yeah, so I look like something like this. Talks about a 40-day. And you also, this shows some breadth. Like I'm gonna show you an example. If you look at the SPYs or Russell or whatever index, you can look at the Nasdaq. Look at this retracement, this early October versus late December. You see this, the market continued lower. T2108, as you can see. Oh no, what is this? 2104. Yeah, this one. Oh, I'm looking at the 8-day chart. Sorry, I fat fingered. As you can see, like the number of stocks below the 40-day didn't really increase that much. So you can look at divergences like that. Again, and after a big rally, you can see when this thing starts rolling over. That's also good in a way I use to decrease my exposure. If I'm heavily long, I decrease my exposure when it starts rolling over after a big multi-week or multi-month run. So that has worked really well too. When you get these big moves up and then it starts rolling over after a few weeks. Now there's no guarantee that everything is gonna go down. Sometimes it keeps going higher, but it's been helping me a lot. And then I have a few others I watch. I look at, let's see here. I look at Nano, which is the Nasdaq McClellan oscillator. It's the same principle pretty much. You look at divergences, you look at when these things start to roll over. NASI, it's the New York Stock Exchange. McClellan, it's pretty much the same thing. You can see when this thing like been going down for a while and starts turning higher, or going up for a while starts turning lower. These are also great times to increase or lower your exposure if you're swing and position trading on the long side. And then there is also CPCE, which is the put-call ratio. So this is also something you want to see. When it gets extreme on either side, that's usually near a short-term, or not usually, but when it gets really extreme, it many times is near a short-term top or a short-term bottom. So these things, I don't look at them every day, but I usually look at them, you know, maybe once a week or something, just to see where we are. It's good to be aware of what's going on in the markets. T2118, what is this? Yeah, exactly. These are great. You know, when they start turning up after a long down move, or turning down after a long and large up move. That, yeah, they're pretty much the same thing, a lot of these. But I look at all of them just to get an idea of where we are and what's going on under the surface. Otherwise you're trading blind. But again, you don't need to look at them every day or anything like that. I think once per week is good enough usually. Okay, so this yin is back. China is not going away. You know what? I'm gonna buy back into it. But this time I need to wait for it to break. I'll buy the same size. Yeah, China is way stronger than US right now. While the US indices look like they're about to break down, like if you draw a big line like this. But China looks like it's about to break higher after you know, this is a little bit of flag. You get a move, then you get a pullback, sideways move, and now it's kind of trying to break out. Hi, I am getting there. So there's another economic data point coming up tomorrow, like labor number. So right now we're in an environment when these things like move the markets a lot. So Tesla is turning lower after a little bit of an intraday pop. I'll put an alert here. Silver is reversing, gold is reversing, but not as much. And now it's really starting to slow down. Just trailing this stops in Tesla and UVXY. I also put a buy stop on this yin. Mallinckrodt is not going away, it's just testing and testing. And this ENDP is also building a little bit of a flag of the lows. Like last year this thing doubled, or actually went up 170% in a few months. Just from a bottom breakout. Had a high volume breakout of the lows, broke the 200-day to the upside and just kept going. And Mallinckrodt too. This one I traded last year. These beaten down stocks, they can make huge moves, even though the fundamentals suck. Just because they get overpriced to the downside. And then like the funds realize, oh look at this is really cheap, and then they go up a lot. I bought this breakout here. It's hard to see because it's a, I'll zoom in a little, like this breakout here. I had a nice little breakout. It's a perfect looking flag. So I bought this, I think at like 17, mid-high 17s, and or did I buy this break? I think I bought this breakout here. Yeah, I thought so this is a perfect looking flag, higher lows all the way, you've got a range. I bought it, I think I bought it here like 20 bucks or something. It went to 30, 36 in a month and a half or something like that. So they can really move. This is probably the stock I'm looking at the closest right now. I really don't want to miss this. I really don't. I'm willing to take 5-10 losses, small tiny losses, to get that big move. So I really think this thing could go up 50-100% very fast once it goes. Could you talk a little bit about the watch list that you have? Strongest, stronger, strong, and how you built those. Okay, so let's do like this. Strong, stronger, like I usually sort it. It's a combination of like fundamentals and momentum. Like the stronger the momentum and stronger the fundamentals, like the faster they're growing. This is like 90% growth names. They're growing EPS and or revenue fast. But it's not an exact science. It's like it's not like I have hard set rules for these. It's just more of a feel. So a total I have like 60, 70 stocks in total. And then I have a scan that's called, it's here, it's called a stronger scan. So it pretty much scans these three watch lists. Or I have a watch list called stronger stocks, where every week I go through these and just move stocks around and add new ones or remove old ones, and I put them on this watch list here, stronger stocks. And then I have a scan that scans this watch list, where the criteria is pretty much that the stock has to be above yesterday's highs, and it needs to be up at least 1% of the day, and the price needs to be above yesterday's highs. So that's how I built this scan and these three watch lists. And I find ideas from these. This is like these three, six scans, different time frames. So I look for the strongest, I think they're like the strongest 2% stocks. Yeah, the strongest 3% stock in that time frame, the strongest 4%. So yeah, pretty much the strongest 3-4% stocks in the US markets with a $20 million worth of trading. That's the liquidity criteria. So pretty much I want to find the 3-4% strongest stocks in the US markets that are liquid, and that's where I find ideas, both on the long and the short side. So that's where all these stocks come from. And then I look at the numbers in MarketSmith, like where I get these numbers. I look at like /62. That means they lost money, but they're growing their revenues by 62% year over year in the last quarter. I'll show you here. So here, that's where I got that /62. Now, if the number here, if this 113 would have been here instead, the number here would be 113/62. And these numbers I get from the fly on the wall. I'll show you. So I use two news services, briefing.com and the fly on the wall. So where is the earnings? Let's see here. What was the earnings date? 2nd of August. 2nd of August, so it's here. So here is where I got those numbers from. Reports, Q2 EPS -6 cents, consensus -8, blah blah blah. And raises revenue, blah blah blah. This is where I got this from. And I also use briefing because sometimes they don't show up and they fly on the wall, so briefing is sometimes better. But I don't like the reporting format on briefing, so I try to use, so this is briefing.com. So I pay for both of these services and I use them 95%, it's the earnings I use them for. And you get all that data to determine their strength from MarketSmith. I don't understand the question. All get that data to determine their strength from MarketSmith. Well, I'm combining, like I'm scanning for strong stocks, strong momentum stocks, and then I can look up the numbers very quickly, like the analyst estimates, stuff like that in MarketSmith. Because the best ones that work best for me over the years are stocks that have big estimates. Like look at something like Shopify, like big growth and big estimates, like this thing. Look at the growth, huge revenue, huge EPS growth, and big estimates for this year, next year. And look at the move. This stock is gone up 15 times the past 3 years. So I like to combine fundamentals and momentum, if that answers your question. Why do you prefer dollars traded, $10 million versus volume to filter? Well, because volume doesn't tell you anything. Volume really doesn't tell you anything. You can have some 30-cent stock trading 100. Look at this thing, OBLM. Yeah. Look at this. It's traded 6 million shares, but it's only a $2 stock. So the dollar volume is 12 million. That's nothing. While you could have something like USLV. This thing has traded almost 300,000 shares. It's trading at 93. So the dollar volume is 30 million. So this thing is more than twice as liquid, even though the share volume is much lower. So share volume doesn't tell you anything. You have to look at the dollar volume. Share volume is irrelevant. Or this drip that I traded, you know, it's high price, but the share volume is really low. But I had a 2,000 share position, and that was a $200,000 position. But if I would buy 2,000 shares of this thing, that would be a $12,000 position. So the amount of shares, it doesn't mean anything. It's totally irrelevant. Dollar volume is what you gotta look at. That's why I prefer dollars traded versus share volume. Ulta, after big insider buys on this pullback, is it a good idea to piggyback and scale in? For trading, following insiders is not that great. For investing, it could be if they're meaningful. Like there is research that shows that like meaningful buys, after several insiders start buying, especially if it's a neglected stock and they start putting in a lot of their net worth. Let's say if their salary is 500k and they start buying shares for that amount, several insiders like director, CEO, CFO, etc., that's a meaningful signal. But most of the time insider sells and buys are irrelevant, and they're usually on these automatic plans anyways. They like scheduled buys or scheduled sells, and they're usually very small amounts compared to their like net worth or annual income or what their current holdings are. So I don't know what you mean by big insider buys, like big in relation to what? 7% of net worth in Ulta. So did he or she buy and put 7% of his net worth in Ulta like recently? That would definitely be significant. Well, this is no. I'm gonna show you. This is not significant because look at this. So this guy, director Charles Hilbron, snapped up 244,000 shares, and now he holds 2 million shares. So he only increased his holdings by a little bit more than 10%. That's not very significant. So he already held like 1.8 million shares before he bought it. It's not that significant. It's not super significant. I don't think so. it really doesn't mean anything. I don't think it's significant enough. It's like I'm holding right now 19,000 shares of UVXY, and let's say I buy another 2,000. It's not a significant increase on my position. But let's say if I would double my position or triple my position, now that would be significant. But yeah, I mean, for trading, you don't have to look at insider buys and sells, especially not in large caps. I don't think so. You really don't have to. Unless it's like a micro cap, like a thin micro cap, and a lot of insiders start buying meaningful stakes. Now that could be significant, especially if it's a biotech. Now that's significant, but you don't get that many scenarios per year, maybe a handful. So now it's time to do my hourly rotation. Just look at through my watch list. So this Okta is, talked about it earlier, recent big winner, pulled back. Now it's undercut it, rising 200-day, or pretty much all of the moving averages. Well, not all of them, actually, only 2 of them are rising. And yeah, trying to bottom alongside with a lot of other recent growth names that pulled back. Let's go through my watch scans. Nothing in EP scan, nothing here. So this MoMo watch list, this is where I put all of these scans. This 1-year loser scan, 2-year loser scan, high trend intensity scan. Pretty much looks at stocks that have gone up a lot over the past 3-6 months. But there's a lot of overlap between these scans, and then all these scans, I put them in a watch list called today's momentum watch list, and this is the scan for that watch list. The criteria are the dollar volume needs to be at least 7.5 million, and it needs to be up 60% of its average daily range. So let's look at something like Okta. It has average daily range of 5.2%. So to hit this scan, it needs to have at least $7.5 million traded, and it needs to be up 60% of this 5.2%. These are ADRs, and they have to be scanned separately because they're in a separate list in TC2000. And this is the ETF scan. Nothing here, nothing exciting. And these are like higher ADR, lower liquidity stocks. And then I look at my current positions. Then I look at Twitter, and right now my Twitter is pretty much dead. There's not much going on. It's just that kind of a market. There's usually more action when the market's really hot, or like there's panic and earnings season. But most of the time, not a lot of things are going on. And I've unfollowed a lot of people because it's just if 10% of your tweets are providing value and the rest of them are about sports or some drama going on, I'm not interested. I just want people that mostly are providing trading ideas. What is your routine to get into the right mindset before the trading day? I don't have a routine. I don't really have a routine. Sometimes I play World of Warcraft until 5 minutes before the market open. And sometimes I get to the computer like 2 hours before. I'm over prepared. Like most of the time there's not much going on. Exactly, World of Warcraft is a secret. Oh yeah. No, it's only when there's not much going on, when I only have a few things in my watch list, and then you don't have to sit there and prepare for 2 hours before the market opens, I usually do my scans, most of my scans and things like that I do after the market closes, and then I do a little bit of preparations. I like an hour or two before the market opens. I look at gappers, I look at my own positions if there's something gapping up or gapping down a lot. But most of the time there is just not much going on for me. Especially not in a market like this when there's not a lot of momentum to the upside. There's an alert that triggered. Oh, Malincra triggered again, or at least alert. Oh boy. Well, I have to rebuy it. There's no question about that. If it breaks the highs, I have to rebuy it. Just the way it is. Just the way it is. So I'm gonna cut the stream in a few minutes. So if you have any questions, that you want the answer to right now, just ask, and then I'm gonna cut the stream. I'm just gonna do my rotation every hour, and if an alert triggers, I'm gonna look at that, obviously. And I have buy stops set in Malincrot and Yin if they trigger again, and there is not much else right now. And I doubt a lot of things are gonna happen the rest of the day. So I'm just gonna go through my scans really quick, and then I'm probably not gonna even look at the markets for the next 50 minutes or 55 minutes unless something, an alert goes off. And that's how I do it. Let's see, does LSCC make sense to show relative strength versus SMH? LSCC, well, overall I think it's kind of choppy, this LSCC. Look at this, all this chop, there's no clean pattern. But yeah, that's something you want to see. If you have a stock that's showing relative strength, that's definitely something I look for. Now in this LSCC, it looks like a turnaround kind of a scenario, but it's kind of choppy name. I don't know if I would look at that one. But yeah, I've seen this thing a lot of times the past few months. It's been very strong. And obviously on this earnings gap up, look at this, look at the volume. Yeah, made a big move, doubled in a few months. But right now there's nothing here. I don't think 1 day relative strength, that doesn't mean much. You need to see longer time frames usually. Unless you're day trading, like if you're day trading, you know, other things apply. Could you talk a little bit about your early days and the trading arena, each other profession can? Yeah, I could. I can do that tomorrow. If you can, I am getting there. If you could ask me those questions tomorrow, maybe a little bit earlier into the stream, I'll be happy to answer those. Yeah, definitely. Because I'm getting a bit hungry and I want to go eat. I want to go eat. But yeah, definitely ask me. So I'm gonna cut the stream now. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'm really happy to do this, and I hope you got some value out of it. So happy trading, and I hope you all bank today.